When did you go full time, and when did you know, okay, I can do this full time? When was that moment for you?
Well, it depends how much time we have, but there's a couple stories embedded in this. But yeah, I mean, so in 2019, I met Gary Vee. November 2019, I went to a meet and greet where he was just doing a meet and greet at his dad's liquor store in Jersey. And so I pulled up with my friend and he invited me and we met him. And so I asked him a question about artists that wasn't even related to entrepreneurship or wasn't related to business, but I had been watching him for so long and I realized that I had never really applied a concept that I learned from him, right? And so after I met him, I kind of like thought that in the back of my head a little bit, right? I'm like 21 maybe or whatever, you know, I'm like not really just, I just had a small realization. And then I was working for a company and, you know, we can go more into that particular company, but, you know, really long story short with the company was I applied for freelance jobs in probably 2018, 2019, after inviting somebody on my podcast who made 6 figures on the stock market in a year from stock market. And then I invited another guy on who made 6 figures doing social media management. So then at that point I was like, okay, I have 2 case studies of 2 people who left their jobs to go online to figure it out. Right. So I tried it and I made $80 in 3 months. And I was like, okay, well, it's $80. I mean, I guess let's try to make another 80, right?
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere. So I'm applying for jobs on Upwork, and the only skill I have is like audio editing better than the average person. I wasn't good. I wasn't what I am now. And I have editors that are way better than me now. But, you know, that's what I was trying to do because I realized that social media management was so flooded, right? Anybody can post your post on Instagram for you, right? Mm-hmm. But not everybody can edit your podcast. So I've come across this job post, right? And this company, typically on Upwork and these freelance sites, they don't put the name of the company because they don't want to get spammed by people. But in this one, they had the name of the company. I ran out of credits. I only made $80. I didn't even really have the $20 for the credits. And because I'm living off of savings at this time. So, you know, I said, you know, I'm just going to reach out to this company. I'm going to try to find a contact and see if I can get a hold of them because they need somebody to edit their podcast. So I went to the site. I booked a call. To book a call, you had to be a company. Like you have to list your company name. So I just listed my YouTube channel. I'm like, here's my YouTube channel. Here's my stats, whatever. I want a marketing help. So the guy that on the other end thought that was cool. He had never talked to a YouTube channel before that booked the call with him. So he got on the call with me and he was kind of curious about me, but I just laid it out for him. I was like, hey man, listen, I kind of like, I'm not supposed to be on this call. I saw your ad on Upwork. I just want to edit your podcast. I don't care how much you're going to pay me, whatever. He said, hey, I really like your approach. Why don't you come in the city in New York and why don't you do an interview? I'm like, okay, great. That's amazing. This is amazing, right? I'm driving to the interview. I'm on the bus and I go, why am I doing an interview? I'm editing this guy's podcast, dude. Like, I didn't even know what the interview was for. But like he asked me to do the interview. I said yes, but I never asked him what I was getting interviewed for. Because if I was going to edit your audio, dude, why are you going to have me drive 3 hours round trip to do this interview? So I get to the place. I'm there, you know, hit him up. He comes down. It's like a co-working space in New York, this cool little fancy thing. And I'm there and he's sitting there and he's like literally on his like phone the whole time. Like he's just like barely paying attention. Right. So, you know, but we're talking, we're chopping it up. And he says to me, he's like, hey, I had you come here because I want you to do everything. I want you to host it, produce it, edit it, you know, market it, direct it, you know, distribute it, you know, anything, do the whole podcast basically, right? Because this founder of this company was a guy, which I didn't know, right? But he was a guy who really just loved the idea of it. Like he would just spam people and that's how he would find clients, and then he would take their money and then end the contract and he would go to the next one. Like he never delivered results. It was like a whole sham of a company that I didn't know, right? So this is the best opportunity of my goddamn life, dude. So I'm like, let's go. Because I was a mechanic, right? Like I was a landscaper, mechanic. I was doing all this stuff. I was doing my podcast at night. He thought it was cool that I had a podcast. So he figured this guy can host it. Shit, I'm just going to pay this kid $15 an hour. He literally asked me, I was getting paid $15 an hour to fix cars. And he was like, how much do you want for this? I'm like, $15 an hour. He's like, deal. So now I'm making the same money that I was making at my job.
Should have said 20, man.
Fuck yeah. I
should have said 20. You should have said 30.
I should have said 100. Dude, I should have said 150, right? But I didn't know what I didn't know. So
yeah,
Rob Dyrdek told me you don't know what you don't know until you know you don't know it, right? So until you're Right? Rob Dyrdek's a genius, bro. That's another story that I could go into. But
I know you did. I know you interviewed Rob Dyrdek. Yeah,
he was amazing, dude. But yeah, so I land this job, man, and so I was at that company for probably like a couple of years, and this was during college, so I could go into any of the avenues within like the company, whether it's the founder doing cocaine under his desk, or him scamming the customers, or sending out 3,000 cold emails a week, like whatever it ends up being. But he put me on sales. He took me off the podcast, said it wasn't working. Wasn't working, even though we never kind of like didn't do anything. We did like 20 episodes. I'm like, come on, my man. So he, one day I'm like working for him in the city, and I'm about to wrap up the story though. So I'm working in the city because it's winter break from school. So he's like, why don't you come in? It's a 3-hour round trip commute. I'm like, this is brutal, right? I'm like 3 weeks into this, dude. It's like 5 days a week in the city and 3 hours round trip. I'm working, I'm getting there before him. I'm working like 8 a.m. to like 8 p.m. It's brutal. And so I like slept in one day, dude. I was like, I just can't do this anymore. Like, I just have to like get my recovery. I literally had no life. I got home, made my breakfast for the next day, went to sleep, and woke up again. That was my life. And so I would see these like zombie people on the bus who would do this every day. And I'm like, this ain't it. So he pays me for me to talk to his life coach, his personal life coach, because he's like, you should get your shit together. So I talked to the life coach, this guy named Tim. Tim says, hey man, by the end of call, Tim's like, hey man, I think you should do music and podcasts, because that seems like what you're into, like on your own. He's like, you're 20, 21. He's like, you don't need to work at this company. So the company paid for me to talk to the CEO's life coach, who suggested that I quit the job at the company that paid for the call, which was wild, man. So I just took this guy's advice, just basically just stars aligned. I just left in probably February 2020, and I had an idea. My idea was, let me start a podcast production company. So in March of 2020, I started a podcast production company, and 2 weeks later, pandemic hit, my school shuts down, and I spent the next 6 months for 4 hours to 6 hours a day sitting on LinkedIn building my company, basically. So that's how it started.